Happening, guys? We're back with build breakdown. It's one I've been wanting to do for a while now. I've been kind of involved with this car for the last 3 years. It is arguably, if not the nicest 33 Ford on the planet. It's competed for some of the best awards in hot rodding, including the Riddler, the Triple Crown, Rod of the Year. It's gone all over. It is a badass build. My buddy Mike Scoop built this car over at Sports Fab here in Milford locally for the guys up at Shadow Rods. It is a badass car. Typically not something we really do on this channel, but it is a really special car, so I figured this would be a really cool one to show you guys up close. If you see this car at a show, you're not going to get to see all the details, so we're going to go through it and show you guys what it takes to build a car of this caliber. It's big money, big time, and it's a big commitment to build cars like this. So I'm going to jump in the truck here, head over to Sports Fab, and take you guys along. Here we go. All right, guys, we are at Sports Fab. Pretty unassuming building here where some pretty amazing cars get built. So go inside, give you a little shop tour, pretty special shop, and then we'll get right into the 33 and show you what this car is all about. Let's go. What's up, doggy? All right, everybody.
How you doing, PJ?
Good, good. This is Mike. We all call him Scoop.
My pleasure.
This is his shop. I get to spend a lot of time here. It's a pretty special place for sure. So I figured what we could do is do a quick shop tour. You can kind of show everybody around your place.
Perfect.
And then we'll jump right into talking about this 33 right here. So
Awesome.
You want to
Well, here we go. Sure. Office here at Sports Fab.
Some pretty cool memorabilia on all these walls. Just give the people a rundown how long you've been doing this.
As a living since 93.
Okay.
Most all my life, though.
But you've been into racing forever. You've been to
drag racing, snowmobile racing, road racing, been to Le Mans. Kind of done a little bit of everything.
Yeah, the office is super cool. This is Carl, the shop dog, by the way.
That's my boy.
He's a good boy.
And here's a little area for sort of hanging out, watching races, some more memorabilia, stuff that I've collected over the years. That's my late partner, passed away in '95. That's his suit that we had in Le Mans, and some pictures. He was well versed in the road racing aspect of racing. And great guy. Sad loss.
For
Died
sure.
in a car accident.
Terrible.
So, did some of the movies, some of the cars for the Days of Thunder movie. A lot of stuff. Did a lot of stuff. I learned a lot from him. I miss him a lot.
Yeah, there's just a cool spot in here.
So just some of the die-cast stuff I've collected. Probably got more than I should have.
Nah.
Less than what some people have. So, you know, it's one of those things that when you see something you like it, you buy it.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, this is a cool, super cool hangout area right here. Definitely.
All the stuff you need.
Good spot to come watch a race. I like this this rear end off a C4 Corvette.
C4 ZR1. Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's Carl's spot on the couch there.
Is that your spot, dude?
Yeah, that's his spot. More stuff.
This is a car that's out in the shop right now. Another really cool car of John's.
Yep, I was involved in that one, and just some posters and
Another
more stuff, more die cast.
Donnie's car that he's got back together now, or working on getting back together.
Working on getting that back together. Yep, part of that deal. Part of the team on that car, I'm very excited to get back doing racing with them guys.
I think we all are ready to see that car back.
We have a lot of fun doing it. It's a great deal.
Talk about the table for 2 seconds.
Table is a V6 Buick Stage 2 ASA motor. They used them in Busch Grand National back in the day. We had it in a GT1 car, Buick Somerset, that we road raced locally in SCCA, SCCA club racing.
Okay.
So this was one of the older engines, and that's just a mock-up. I made a table out of it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Kind of hurt inside, but it's a pretty cool piece.
Definitely. Conversation piece.
Yeah.
For
Something
sure.
I did that I thought would be cool for a table.
All right, show us the rest of this place.
Well, over here, this is kind of my garage. Everything's kind of stored over here. Excuse the mess. Truck and trailer that we use for our road racing program.
Also the home for my car in the winter.
Yep, PJ's garage in the winter goes in there.
That's usually where my car has lived the last few winters, inside that trailer.
Yep.
Yep.
This is a 71 Continental that belongs to a good friend of mine. We've been lifelong friends. He lives in Florida, and he's got a home up here in Michigan, and it won't fit in his garage, so...
Yeah, it's a really long... It could be the longest two-door car, I think, ever.
I think we measured it, and it's like 19.2 or something like that. His garage is 19.
Yeah, it's a boat.
So
for sure.
I call it the timeshare. I take care of it for him, and he comes and gets it when he comes up and visits. Chevy pickup, LS3, 8-speed automatic, Art Morrison chassis, Willwood brakes, coil-over suspension. It's going to be a cool truck. We're going to leave it patinaed like this, but
Yes.
do a nice interior in it, distressed leather, something like that. Just make a really sweet driver out of it.
Yeah.
Air, windows, cruise control,
Yeah, it's going to be...
all the stuff that makes them drive nice.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
This is a original 66 SS 396 car that was restored about 25 years ago, and been sitting for 5 or 6 now. The guy didn't drive it because he lived on a dirt road, so a friend of mine bought it, and we're doing a little enhancements on the car. 365 cast iron manifold, but it's got the good cam and mechanical, or hydraulic cam, not a mechanical. The 375 had the mechanical cam in it.
Okay.
4-speed car. It's kind of cool.
Oh, it is a 4-speed car.
4-speed car, yeah. It's kind of cool. It's got buckets and no console. So that's another project. This is sort of a little exterior office. When I'm working out in the shop or whatever, I need to get online to do any kind of a parts search or whatever.
Got it.
I have a tendency, if I go in my office, I lose a couple hours
I feel that.
sitting in there.
I love all the old creepers.
Marketplace, yeah. I got to stay off Marketplace.
There's another car that
John Hall owns.
Yep. John owns.
And this car is also going to get, and we'll explain to you in a little bit, this is an all aluminum clean sheet of paper. Architecturally wise, it's a Ford Flathead. Internally, it's all been addressed from the Flathead that was originally built from 1932 to 1953. It was a brainchild of a gentleman by the name of Mark Kirby, who owned Motor City Flatheads. and big flathead guy, and he started the project to make iron blocks because there just isn't any anymore. And then once they got into it and started building the core boxes and that, they thought, well, let's just bring this thing up to date. So it's an all aluminum. Everything on the engine is O-ring, no gaskets. Everything that was the inherent problems of the flatheads have been addressed. It's a bigger, it's 327 cubic inches. I think the biggest flathead was a 229. Again, everything is O-ring. This has a roller cam in it. The original flathead engines they had a bell housing casted on the back of them, so they were kind of hard to adapt to different vehicles. So this one has a small block Ford pattern on the back of the bell housing.
Oh.
And this, the owner of the company, Mark Kirby, sadly passed away a few years ago, but he was able to see his vision come to light. And John Hall, that owns Shadow Rods in Saginaw, Michigan, has gotten on board several years ago with Mark to bring this thing to life, and he wanted to showcase it in something other than a hot rod.
Right.
So we're going to put this in this 64 Falcon here. It was sent to Detroit Speed in North Carolina. They did all their underpinnings on the car, so it'll be a great handling car, big brakes. It's got their Quadrolink rear suspension in it. This is their new first-gen Mustang front suspension that he adapted to the Falcon.
Right.
And doing twin turbos, and everything in that is done. This is the engine, so this is one of the 6 engines that are now complete, and this will be going in this Falcon. And the intake manifold was drawn in CAD, and then we rapid prototyped a mold and then poured it. Justin Haddon at D&D Performance and Don Walsh are helping me with the electronics on it. We're going to use Fuel Tech and for as an engine management system. So, and then when we get to the 33, it has Fuel Tech on it as well. Same engine, not quite as elaborate as this one. This one's got a billet Moldex crank in it, Carrillo rods. It's made to make as much power as we possibly can with a Ford flathead.
Yeah, and John's planning to autocross this car, like parking lot race it.
Yeah, so autocross it in the Good Guys events and showcase it, like I said, in something other than a Ford than a hot rod.
Sure, it's a cool piece.
So that's going to be a great car. This is another customer car that's almost done.
Almost out of here.
Almost out of here. 460.
Yeah, Ford power.
Pretty radical street engine for this guy, air conditioning, power steering. This is a 58 Chevy that I originally started, and then it kind of morphed into a big project, and I was in the midst of the middle build of the 33 when this one was ready to be assembled. So this one got sent to Alabama to Jesse Greening Automotive, and they did all the final assembly on the car. And it's a nice 58 Chevy, 496-inch big block. This has Holley injection on it, Roadster shop chassis, big bear brakes, as you can see, 5-speed from D&D. I just got back from Nashville with it.
1,000 miles or so.
Something like that, whatever it is down there and back. Yeah, it ran flawless.
That's one thing
he drives.
I always like. John drives all his stuff, which is really cool. So, yeah, this is a really cool piece. I love the wheels on this car.
One-off wheels, all CNC machined.
And the fact that it's a stick shift car.
Stick shift, 3-pedal car, whatever you want to call it. It's fun to drive. Long trips, maybe I'm showing my age, but automatic would have been more suited for the traffic on the way to Nashville.
Sure.
It was sort of bumper there for a while. Shop area, all my equipment and what have you.
Everything here to do everything. Scoop has helped me build tons of stuff for my car over the years, so really cool setup. Basically has everything you need to fabricate anything, essentially.
Right.
All in this very modular setup, since he has to move all this stuff to be able to get cars up on the plate here to do alignments and stuff. So
Yep. One-man band, so everything's on wheels.
Everything is well thought out in this shop for sure.
Everything is on wheels.
All right, let's jump right into the 33 here. So this is the 33 known as the Speed 33?
In the show car
Flat
world,
Speed 33.
Flat Speed is what they called it. It again has one of the new aluminum flathead engines in it. This is a labor of love of mine. This is a complete build that I did here at Sports Fab. I didn't do all the body work, all that was done, and I did not do the paint. Everything else on the car I did. The headers were built, partially some of the exhaust was done, but everything else on the car we'll show you when we put it on the hoist.
And
was done here.
Just talk about the exterior, what's all done to this from a traditional 33.
Oh, well, this is an American Speed body, so it's an all steel 33 Cabriolet. So it has windows, it's not a roadster, power windows, cruise control, stereo, automatic, and the way the top mechanism works is this folds forward to this point, the tonneau cover opens up, the top stack goes down behind the seats, and this closes. Hence the Cabriolet and the side windows.
Sure.
Like I said, roadsters don't have side windows. There's been tons of body modifications on this particular car. The firewall has been moved out, I think like 6 inches to package everything under, right here in front.
Yep, so this is longer.
Forward.
Yep.
I can show you. This is all longer to accommodate everything you need to package under the dash, air conditioning, what have you, cruise control. The hood sides, the hood, the grill shell, everything was made in Saginaw Shadow Rods, and that's John Hall's place. They made a die and hand stamped all the louvers. The grill is all handmade. The grill shell is all aluminum. The radiator and everything, it's a modular unit. The radiator's packaged in the grill shell, and then it goes on as an assembly. The angles have been changed on the hood lines to match the angle of the grill. 33. They were on an angle like that. This one's a little more exaggerated, but not a lot more. The 33s did have the swoopy looking grill. The 32 sort of had a stand-up grill.
Yeah, I like this looks of this way better.
Everything on this car, if you look at a lot of roadsters, everything is for cars, open wheel cars. Everything's packaged in front of the axle. On this car, we did everything behind the axle, the spring, the shocks. Everything is behind the axle. It's got a monoleaf spring in it. Not a monoleaf, but a single leaf spring in the front. And it's typical hot rod stuff. But it gives it a clean look with nothing out in front of the axle. The wheel covers, the brake covers in this, these are fashioned after an old IndyCar disc brake setup that was used in the 50s. And a guy by the name, I think his last name was Kinmount, did a single rotor, single pad disc brake setup back in the 50s for Indy cars. And then this was kind of the package you put around them to cool them and cover them. And they've found their way into the hot rod industry. And of course they're remade, they're aluminum now, and then it's got traditional brakes inside of those.
Yeah,
this has got Willwood discs in the front and then drums in the rear. It just gives it an old school touch, sort of a racy, race car, road race type appearance.
Yeah, they're cool.
Those were chromed and then painted, and then there's a ton of work in those to make them look like they do. The wheels are fashioned after a IndyCar wheel of the 50s. Those are a true center lock wheel, pin drive, whatever you want to call them, single knockoff. They're currently being made by Johnson's Hot Rod Shop, and we had a set of magnesiums out of the original molds from 50s IndyCar stuff, and they had heavy casting marks in them. They casted them in magnesium, and they were really tough to keep clean. So we did the aluminum wheels with the polished lip on them, and cere coated them, and they just look so much better.
Yeah, this is a great looking wheel in this car.
The back of the car, as far as the 34 goes, the deck lid's been shortened a substantial amount. Tail panel's been made. raised panels for a raised area for the taillights and the license plate, full belly pan. It's got a Winters V8 quick change in it. Like I said, drum brakes in the rear. Hoff Designs, HOF in Dearborn did the interior. All leather, nice interior, armrest. Like I said, it's got all the accessories, air conditioning, automatic, cruise control, power windows, stereo. Just going to be a nice driver. And you got to pull the headlight switch, PJ, and the dash will light up. Middle one. There you go.
Yeah, the interior of this car is just super clean.
And the owner is a tall guy. So once you're in this car, in the egress and ingress of the car is very easy because of the suicide doors. This is the way they were as they're stretched out. It's just a great car to drive.
Yeah, it's super comfortable. Those seats are. This is the second rendition of the seats in this car. These are way more comfortable than the original set for sure.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Yeah, when we get it outside, we'll put the top down and give you guys some better shots of the interior.
Yeah, it'll really look nice with the top down. I like the car with the roof up.
Me too.
It does look good with the top down as well.
Yeah, it looks meaner with the top up for sure.
Yeah, it's a little more sinister.
Yeah. The coolest part of this car, in my opinion, is underneath it. So you want to play musical cars here, and we'll throw it on the hoist. All right, we'll put it back up here in a second.
People don't get to see the car shows that we've been to this summer. Been outdoor car shows, haven't been able to elevate the car. This is it's very nice under here. I'm pretty proud of this part of the car. Everything is either chromed, polished, or painted. Tidy. It's just something that most people don't get to see, don't appreciate what goes into one of these cars when you build them. The attention to detail that goes into everything that's under here. You're really limited on space, so everything has to be thought out, where it's going to go, what it's going to be close to. It's just it's a big deal building one of these hot rods.
Yeah, and I love that every nut on this car, bolt in this car is ARP bolt.
ARP polished stainless 6-point. Yep, every piece of hardware on this car is ARP. Intermediate pipes were done when I got the car. These short lengths here were done, and then I did everything from there back. And it's all polished stainless. It's not chromed.
It's got Flowmaster mufflers on it, right?
They sound good with the flathead. The flathead has a unique sound to it, and these sort of deepen the note, and they sound too. They're not too obnoxious. Nice and quiet. No droning.
The brake, the master's way back here.
Mm-hmm.
Proportioning valve. You did all these lines, all the brake lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And
transmission coolers are under here. I didn't want to package them up in front of the radiator. So far, I've driven the car around a little bit at some of the shows, and the transmission runs right at around 150, 160 with this cooler on it. So it should work pretty good once the car's out on the road. There's plenty of clean air under the car. If not, we'll address it at that point.
all the fuel stuff back here, the regulator, and even underneath this car is all nice, guys. Everything's polished. Everything is pretty perfect. It's a quick change we ran, Scoop said, and I don't think we talked about what transmission's in it.
It's a 4L60E. It's a transmission that has one of the GM transmissions that has a removable bell housing. So Shadow Rods had a bell housing casted in magnesium to adapt to the back of the small block Ford pattern that the aluminum flathead has.
And just some of the small stuff like these nuts that you made for these V-band clamps, a little bit longer. So it's not just a normal nut.
I started with a piece of stainless hex, turned it down, threaded it, and then I wanted something different rather than just the standard nylocks on there.
Yeah.
They look kind of cool.
Yeah, they look badass.
Probably spent more time on them than I should have, but
Yeah, it's all. That's what separates these cars though from you know the other ones is all the attention to detail, and that's why I wanted to shoot this video, guys, so people could see underneath this car how perfect and tidy, I guess is the word Scoop used. I think that's pretty perfect. It's just all perfect, super well thought out, and spotless.
Lot to package underneath this car, and not very much room to do it in. So there's a lot of thought that goes underneath one of these.
Yeah.
To make them look good and function where you're not chasing heat issues and what have you.
And the exhaust now finally has a little bit of heat in it. It's turning colors. It looks really good.
Yeah, it's starting to get that golden hue to it that stainless gets. This is a 339 in this car, so it's a little bit bigger than the production engine is going to be. This was one of the last engines that Mark Kirby put together before he passed away. He wanted to do that for me and Shadow Rods to get it in this car.
So how many of these motors, these flatheads from Motor City Flatheads are running?
6 of them.
6, okay.
Yeah. There's one of them has over 100,000 miles on it. It was the original test engine that was in one of Mark's personal cars. There's another that's in a 50 Ford that has that's been to California a couple times. I think that engine has somewhere around 45 or 50,000 miles on it.
Cool.
So the durability stuff, now that they're in cars, there's 4 of them that are in cars and running right now. So they're going to be driven, and the durability begins.
Cool.
The durability testing, I should say.
Well, we didn't actually show under the hood yet, so I think maybe we pull this thing outside in the light and show under the hood, and maybe cruise it around up and down the street here a little bit.
Sure, we'll put the roof down so you get a good view of the interior.
All right, let's do it. Side open.
You want both of them open so you can see?
Whatever you think's best to see the motor.
Do both sides.
Tight package.
Tight package. So again, this is one of the new all aluminum flathead Ford, well, Motor City flathead engines. Fuel injected. 4 individual throttle bodies, 2 barrels per fuel tech, engine management system.
The FT550 running this whole thing.
FT550. Justin did all the harness. Justin from D&D did all the harness on it. Engine harness, did an awesome job. Used the military bulkhead behind the intake manifold. It's very hard to see, hard to package. Again, this car has air conditioning, heat, so everything was packaged accordingly. A lot of lines were fabricated for this particular vehicle. The alternator and air conditioning mounts were all fabricated at Shadow Rods by Mark Kirby. He built them out of Ren plank and then had them casted. You can't see them in here, but they're a gorgeous piece of work that hold everything. Crank trigger, the distributor is the cam sync. So everything that's current date to run the fuel injection is being used. Like I said, it's just a base tune in it now. It runs good, but it'll get better when Justin finishes it up. And then we'll put some miles on the car and dyno it. Like I said, we'll have PJ over there when we do the dyno session. And
yeah, this could be maybe the most expensive car on the dyno ever over there.
Yeah, it's a pretty pricey car to build. Yes, it was.
Cool.
You can't really see the grill shell and everything that's incorporated in it, but this is all the grill shell, and it's all aluminum, handmade stainless bars, And the grill shell, when the hood sides are off, completes the package here. It's all painted all the way down. It looks very nice with the hood sides off. They're kind of a little bit of a pain to get off, otherwise we'd have taken them off so you get a better view of the engine. These, they're very tight, and it's just...
And they're actually bend on the car to get that line. They're not normally straight. This gets pulled in right here, so that's what gives it that line.
Yep, you have to push this in. It's probably 6-8 inches out. You push it in, and it folds that hood side, and then it's fastened here and here with 2 pins in the frame rail.
Right.
So it's located. You don't have to worry about the body lines. It'll only go in one spot, but I didn't want to take it off because it's one time you scratch the back of the headlight or whatever.
Right.
The car is still too new for me to do that. I guess in a year or so I'll be taking them off by myself. Right now, no. You release it. And the hood, front windshield bows. And then this folds up like that. There's a little latch here inside the door. Goof around to get it up. So that tilts up like that. A little windy out here. I hope it doesn't crash down. This little piece has to come out. This folds right down in there. Yep. This closes.
Is that gonna flip down? No.
Nice catch. And these finish it off. The reason we had to make these removable is the mechanism wouldn't pass this, so these have to go in here, and then they finish everything off. They should have went back on before I put the tonneau up.
You're right.
But
That's all right.
I haven't put the top down a bunch of times, but you get the idea of what it looks like with the roof down. Console, everything's in the console. Radio, AC controls, heat, headlight switch, wiper switch, window switches, and like I said, all the wiring is run down through the center of the car.
With it up.
With it
sure.
up, yeah. It's just a cool package.
Get a couple shots of it with the top down here. Let us know what you guys think. You like it with the top down or top up? Wow, looks pretty cool. getting her first miles on her.
Yeah.
Well, it cruised. Went for what? We probably drove it 4 or 5 miles.
Yeah, downtown Milford and around Central Park and back, and did everything it's supposed to do. That's really the first time I've really driven the car.
Yeah.
Other than around Columbus and some of the shows we've taken it to, but that's just putzing it around the parking lot. We actually got it up to speed. And
yeah, shifted. Everything worked
everything
good.
works
Stay
good.
cool.
It's nice and cool. That's a pretty tight package under that hood. We use the new Spall brushless fan. Those fans are just, they're just kick-ass.
Well,
There she is.
we appreciate the shop tour.
Oh, absolutely. I
Showing us the
appreciate you
car.
coming by and hanging with me today and Carl.
Yep. We'll try to get a follow-up video here, guys, when this thing goes on the roller. It should be pretty cool over at
Yeah,
D&D.
we'll do a dyno over at D&D, and that should be pretty good. I'm excited about that. And the owners like if we break it, so be it.
We'll fix it. Right. Well, thanks,
hopefully
buddy.
we won't break it. PJ, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
All right, guys, we're back home. Super cool video, super cool shop, super cool guy, Scoop. He's taught me a lot over the past few years that me and him been hanging out a lot. So, pleasure shooting that video with him. Pretty cool, really cool car. Something definitely different on this channel. You guys are used to, a lot of race car content, but I'm in all kinds of cars. Do a lot of show cars. I do a lot of paint correction on show cars. I did that one. I've done a bunch of cars for John. Including the 58 that was over there, and that'll be cool to bring you guys that one. So if you like this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Peace!